Why should Godzilla be terrified of the new Kong villain? I mean, to be fair, they always have to make the enemy seem overwhelming. I'm a big fucking Ghidorah simp. Ghidorah is definitely my favorite of any kaiju that's ever existed. Of all time. He's just so cool. The coolest sounds. He's a literal alien god. 3-headed dragon. He's a beautiful golden color. He harnesses the climate. He's so cool. Exists in space, no problem. Literal god. Somehow, Godzilla and Kong are like, yeah, fuck this guy. Oh no, wait, was it just Godzilla that fucked Ghidorah, or was that... I need to rewatch these movies. I need to rewatch these movies. It was Godzilla and Kong again. We need to watch this video and see what this guy thinks. So again, why should Godzilla be terrified of the new King Kong? New info! Does anybody really have any new info besides that one little teaser? That's true, he does have longer arms. Godzilla and Mothra, thought so. Well, Mothra did her best to distract him, even though Mothra got stomped. I feel so bad for Mothra. Mothra just deserves a big ol' hug. Alright, here we go. Boom.
In this episode, we'll take an even closer look at this new ape titan and reveal that this guy is not here to play any games. This animal will be a lot more terrifying than you think by the time you reach the end of this episode. To achieve that, we will cover 3 aspects of this titan which might help us understand this guy even better. We'll cover experience, physical attributes, and mental abilities, and a special surprise segment in the end. So without further ado, let's get right into the analysis platform. Also, don't forget that the content in this episode is pure speculation, based on what we have seen in the title review.
We love speculation, by the way. This channel loves speculation.
Trailer and what we already know as fact in the Monsterverse.
Yeah.
Having said this, let's begin with number 1, experience. Experience is a result of constant exposure to a certain force or repetitive situation that in turn helps you prepare better for the next noteworthy occurrence. This comes with time. Nothing gets a bunch of XP out of nowhere. Now, by looking at this kaiju's physique and taking a look at the vast array of skeletons in this clip, we can deduce that yes, this kaiju has lived a long time. And 2, there might be something special about this guy. It's likely that this thing is a skilled predator, or you can also use the word hunter. This word now completely sheds new light on this titan. For those of you who consider yourselves hunters, you are now going to like this thing a lot more. Successful predators or hunters all have one thing in common: knowledge. This takes form in many things, such as 1, being able to track prey by identifying game trails, scat, traces of blood, disrupted terrain, heightened senses of smell, etc. 2, knowing how to identify the weak points of said prey, such as the neck, heart, or lungs. And more importantly, number 3, being able to develop a vast array of hunting tools and weapons. But will...
Yeah, by the way, Primitive Technology, great channel. All the channels that copy that channel, trash. Also, this guy does know a thing or two about hunting. I used to go hunting, actually. I would like to go hunting again. I just need to get my licenses in order.
We'll go ahead and add a 4th one. A smart and experienced titan like this will most likely understand that spreading its bandwidth by using traps would be much more useful. Placing these carefully in strategic locations where titans would wander by, ensnaring or trapping them where he can comfortably come and kill the trapped kaiju. That, or potentially go a step further and cap it off by taming his own smaller creatures to aid him during hunting. That, or forming some sort of symbiosis between itself and said creatures. We've mentioned this word in the channel before. It's where 2 creatures of different species form a bond that is in most cases beneficial to both. The Monsterverse is no stranger to this concept, so we shouldn't be surprised if we see this again in this film. So now that we understand that experience is something that potentially made this guy a good hunter, let's now cover some of its speculative physical abilities. In this video, we will entertain the idea that this animal can in fact be described as an avid hunter. And
yeah, and you know, I feel like this guy is really fast. He's got the long, slender form, which reminds me a lot of a gibbon. And if any of you guys know anything about gibbons, they are fucking tricksters, they are quick, and they love fucking with shit. This guy reminds me a lot of a gibbon, but like a gibbon with an attitude. Gibbons are usually very silly. They're not nasty like this guy's probably gonna be.
And go as far as theorizing that this animal is...
He does seem to be sitting in Kong's chair, that is true. He wants to come for his throne.
And go as far as theorizing that this animal is very much fond of this activity. Or else, why would he continue to do this many times? We did discuss that this animal is deceivingly strong in a previous episode, but...
Yeah, wiry things are very strong. He's very lean. He's probably got a lot of tensile strength.
To recap, we mentioned that lanky ape builds don't necessarily mean weak.
Yeah, so I was thinking orangutan. He looks like a fucking... Well, gibbon earlier, but originally when I saw the teaser, I watched the teaser without you guys. I know, shame. At first I was thinking orangutan, but he also reminds me a lot of gibbon. I feel like he's gonna have a lot of gibbon movements. Because orangutans, yeah, they'll move around and they'll probably do that, but he's got that, like, gibbony lankiness that... I guess we gotta see his legs. He's too skinny to be like a male orangutan, though, because male orangutans are fucking... They're wide. And they got big heads. It's like if you mix... I guess he's like if you mix an orangutan with a gibbon.
Zeke. These fast twitch muscles allow this creature to inflict heavy impacts. But today we'll delve further and talk about the insane amounts of reach this animal has.
Yep.
Especially when we compare him to Kong. By looking at these arms, we can already tell that this creature will have an edge when it comes to delivering blows to many opponents.
Oh yeah.
Longer arms means you can reach the opponent before he hits you. But Orangakong here can take this even further, literally. Let us remind you that this guy is most likely capable of crafting its own hunting weapons. And a weapon frequently used by hunters that excels in both close and long-range combat are...
Sorry to interrupt again, but orangutans are known for using tools. And they also copy humans when they see them using tools. Like, they'll learn how to use a saw. They know how to use sticks to do stuff. They know how to use utensils to eat. Like, orangutans are wicked smart, and they love using tools. It's a big thing. They pass it down from generation to generation. That's an important thing to remember.
Are spears. Yeah, dude, even chimpanzees use these in real life.
That's true.
Spears can be used to keep the prey at bay, stab at a distance while keeping the wielder far away, and can be thrown with pretty good accuracy. We discussed how this guy most likely has the knowledge of the weak spots of many kaiju, maybe including Kongs and Godzillas, knowing exactly where to strike, not just...
Okay, wasn't the majority of Kong's species wiped out? What if Kong's species was wiped out by this titan? And that's why Kong is like the last Kong besides this one. Because I remember in that movie when they went there, there were an awful lot of skeletons and not an awful lot of Kongs. What if this is the guy that wiped out all of the Kongs? This guy knows how to kill Kongs. Kong's gonna need some help.
Just with spears, but with other weapons it might possess. Both crafted weapons and powers it may have within its own body. In a previous episode, we discussed that this new kaiju probably has attributes that are not found in this Kong, because this guy's eyes glow blue, suggesting that Hollow Earth energy is also a factor here. It's possible that
also, we might just have different colored eyes. But that is also a very good point. That's a very good point. Very good point. Shouldn't they not be able to throw shit as hard as humans, despite gorillas being stronger than humans? They can't throw punches hard because of their long arms? Like biometrics and shit. Well, that's another reason why they would want to use the tools hand to hand. I mean, they could probably throw shit pretty damn far. Humans just so happen to have evolved in a strangely, I don't want to say perfect way because we have a lot of spinal disadvantages as we age, because we developed to become bipedal, but having really long arms is really good for, like, movement. If you want to get around your enemy, long fucking arms helps with that, especially if you're fighting in an area that has, like, let's say you're in a city and you've got buildings and shit. You can flip around those buildings like no other. Not you. You're... Manlet bros can't stop. Hey, man. Okay, here's the thing. The shorter you are, the easier it is for you to build muscle. If you're a fucking 6'5" dude, it requires an insane amount of oxygen and energy to move and do shit. If you're a 5'5" dude, you can gain muscle like a fucking champ. You can fight for significantly longer. Like, if you're a really tall guy, the only advantage you have in a fight is that you will probably do better in the first 3 minutes of fighting, and then after that you might gas yourself out. So if the manlet, your words, if the manlet can outlast the first several minutes with a tall dude, you're probably going to win the fight. If you are not super tall, don't feel bad. You've got the stamina and you have the ability to become significantly more jacked way quicker than anybody who's above 6 feet. Don't feel bad about being a shorter dude. They have a lot more torque, that's true. Yeah, big, tall dudes, they don't have as much tensile strength. When I'm 5'3" on a good day, and when I am wrestling around with my 6'2" boyfriend, if I get my arms in the right position, he can't fucking move. So just think about that. Think about it. It's true. Longer reach. Yeah, I mean, if you've got the weight behind it, yeah, the first few minutes they can fuck a little guy up. But if you can hold your ground, especially if you're good on the ground, if you're good at wrestling, you can fuck up a taller guy. Shorter people also live longer. This is true. They don't deal with a lot of tall dudes. If they have like an infection in their feet, it's way harder on them. If you're a short king, don't feel bad. A lot of women don't give a shit about your height. I don't care. I wouldn't care if there was a dude that was shorter than me if I liked him, whatever. I've been with this guy for 8 years, so I mean, I'm with him. But I'm just saying, there are a lot of girls out there that don't care if you're shorter. Who cares? Just take care of yourself. Anyways, let's continue with the video. We've turned this 10-minute video into a fucking 50-minute speculation on short kings. Alright, let's go.
That over time, this creature learns to use this energy and voluntarily redirect it through its skeletal frame to any extremity, such as its fists and legs. Electric shocks have proven to, in some cases, immobilize a victim, which would be a very handy ability to have while hunting another kaiju. All these attributes are good to have, but in order to beat Godzilla and Kong in a 1v2 combat, we are going to need something more special. Mind games. That's right, no Titan can just pull up to Kong and Godzilla with a bunch of spears and hollow earth energy and expect to win. There's something that this animal probably has that can turn the balance of power. Apes have always been known to be incredibly smart, and some go as far as being able to effectively communicate with other species. We saw this happen in GVK when Kong was actually communicating with Gia. So, can this ape do the same thing or better? There have been some videos circling around claiming that Orangakong actually said something in the beginning of the trailer. Right now, we're still on the fence on this, given that it's kind of unrealistic to think that this Kong can actually speak English. But what we do know for certain is that this monster would have certainly learned to communicate with or even mimic other Titans, and especially with Kongs. That's right, even if Orangakong is able to get some points across to Godzilla, this thing will most definitely be able to communicate with Kong on a deep level. It would have been the first time he actually speaks to a member of his own kind, or close to. If this is true, then we can safely assume that this guy will begin to play mind games with him. Having said this, we are potentially seeing the first case of trash talking in the Monsterverse. This can also go as far as this guy learning about Kong's emotional weakness.
Okay, that's definitely not going to be the first version of trash talking. Ghidorah versus Godzilla, they trash-talked each other from the other side of the fucking planet.
Weakness is. But what's his emotional weakness? Well, upon meeting him, this guy would most likely figure out that he has lived alone his entire life and has only a few things that he really cares about.
What if there's also a female? I mean, they've only dropped a teaser. But what if there's a female? I'm just saying, let's say you're the last... If you think you're the last one of your species, and then some dude comes around and he's got a female, I'm just gonna say, they would fight the other guy to the fucking death over that female. And that's, you know, that's how it would go. What if there's a female? Because, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. If there's two males left of a species at that point, you're done. There's nothing really to fight about. But what if there's a female? Or what if he's got a small civilization of the last Kong species? Like, what if there's a little pocket of them and he keeps them there and that's his domain? It is sad. It's really fucking sad. It was really sad seeing all the skeletons and that thinking like he might be the last one. That made me really fucking depressed. What if there's a female? I hope there is. If there isn't, then this movie's gonna be significantly dumber. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna love it, but I hope there's a female. Only one male and a female ain't gonna do much aside from make a lot of inbred babies and a few Oh, but there's the thing. I mean, at least there's a chance. See, here's the thing. Inbreeding is, this is going to be controversial. Inbreeding is mostly only bad if there are bad genetics to pass down. If you have a fuck ton of kids and they spread out and they pair off and they have kids, eventually it will not be as bad. They will evolve and develop new traits. Inbreeding is bad if you keep it very close the whole way, but if all of them have a fuck ton of children and spread out, it's gonna be not as good at first, admittedly. But I don't see Kong having super bad genes. Clip it and ship it? No, have as many children as fucking possible and spread it out. It's not gonna bite me in the future. It's just a scientific fact. I'm a scientist. I love biology. I've literally witnessed this shit firsthand on my own experiments. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We, as a human society, have a really negative view of incest because we have developed a negative stigma against it. Yeah, okay, you're gonna have some physical problems. But if you have a fuck ton of kids, and those fuck ton of kids have a fuck ton of kids, and those fuck ton of kids have a fuck ton of kids, eventually you're gonna have some differences. Trust me. It's not gonna be as bad as you think. There's gonna be some bad eggs. Yes, just eugenics. You forcing siblings to breed? Yeah, I keep humans in my basement. Yeah, I'm a regular old fucking Nazi Russian experimental breeding project in my basement. Duh. Who the fuck doesn't have that, right? Don't you have fucking people in the basement? No, I'm not gonna explain. I'd rather you guys think about it. Anyways, let's carry on with the video. You guys can ponder on your own. If you have a funny thing to talk about, why don't you mention it in the comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube? Third cousin, I believe, is the farthest away from zero chance of genetic problems. I mean, it depends. I mean, okay, let's be fair. If you want a species to be saved, if there's only a male and a female left, there are quite literally many representations in actual studies. Let's say there's just go Google animals that have been saved from extinction through captive breeding programs. Just go Google it, like, right now. They don't come out with 6 legs. What if the monster is female? What if it is a female? Oh! So many things to think about. I broke free from her eugenics basement. You're right, Lacey. We're a big fan of eugenics over here, by the way. Oh my god, I have to pee so bad. Let's finish this so I can go pee. Holy shit.
Something like Gia, for example. You psychos watching this know where this is going. A crazy titan like this, who enjoys the vile act of hunting and killing, will most definitely use this against Kong. In the next film, we must expect yet another tragedy, because the moment where this guy realizes that this girl holds a...
I'm just gonna say, if it's a movie without tragedy, it's probably not a good movie. So, duh.
Special place in Kong, he will do everything in his power to hurt this child. And in doing so, anger Kong so much that he'll probably be driven into making rash, uncalculated decisions in combat, which is exactly what this guy would want. This isn't the first time we have seen this dynamic play out. Back in Kong Skull Island, it was this skullcrawler, Ramarak, who literally tried to do the same thing. But what about Godzilla? Well, this guy isn't getting away from the mind games either. Now, we would like to imagine that pissing Godzilla off would not be a difficult task, given that in the previous film, Godzilla literally took this personally and proceeded to go apeshit. If this thing is indeed the type of hunter we think it is, it's not too far-fetched to think this guy keeps trophies as well. Probably even his fair share of Godzilla.
Of course he keeps trophies. They literally showed it in the teaser trailer with his mountain of skulls. He's like Smaug with his gold, but instead it's the bones of his enemies. And he wants to add Godzilla and Kong to it. So you know it's going to be Kong and Godzilla versus Orang Titan. Whatever they're calling him. Angry dude. With the long arms.
Godzilla body parts. If this guy ever decides to pull up with bones of Godzilla's fallen ancestors, or worse, even wearing the skins of these fallen ancestors, this will become more than enough to inflict the desired raging effect on Godzilla. This scenario has become even more intense. But is this really all this new kaiju's doing? Is this thing actually this malevolent to come up with all of this on its own? This blue glow also suggests that there might be something going on in the background. It's also possible that this ape titan is being controlled, or at least doing the will of another greater power. Whatever this power may be, we'll be working on another episode to discuss this theory in depth. But for now, we'll move on to the last segment. How can this guy be defeated? Another reminder that literally all of this is speculation, but we need to explore 2 scenarios if we are going to answer this question. One is assuming that this creature is in fact controlled by another greater threat, which means that if this monster is ever to be liberated from this control, the greater threat has to also be defeated in conjunction. That's the boring answer. The fun answer is number 2. Both Godzilla and Kong somehow figure out that they can in fact be more powerful. More specifically, Kong. Now, it's not too far-fetched to believe that Kong can still harness the power of the Hollow Earth. After all, we do have a clue that hints at Kong also being able to transmit energy. If we go back to GVK in this clip, look closely. We can find that this axe handle glows when Kong raises it, indicating that there was in fact some energy transmission between this kaiju and the axe. If Kong ever learns this, then we are looking at possibly having a more powerful iteration of Kong in the next MonsterVerse film.
Hell yeah.
Perhaps even powerful enough to level the playing field with this giant ape all by himself. allowing Godzilla to focus on any other threat that may appear later.
That's true. If he can harness it, then Godzilla, I mean, to be fair, okay, we're all watching it mostly for Godzilla, but if Kong can harness it and he's defending his homeland, because honestly, Godzilla doesn't care about the Hollow Earth. Godzilla belongs up on the surface in the ocean. Kong's domain is the Hollow Earth. It would be nice to see Godzilla support Kong in defending his land there. That would be ideal.
Go check out a more in-depth discussion on this new orangutan and its abilities on the Beast Hub podcast. Subscribe and tell them Goji sent you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Alright, his voice grew on me. I like this guy. He's a cool guy. And I feel like I can speak like him in a very dramatic sense. It just usually when I initially hear that voice, it reminds me of YouTube channels that put next to no research into the thing that they're talking about, and they just put a lot of overemphasis on it to make it seem like, oh, I am an authority on this situation. But dude actually knows what he's talking about. He's earned my respect. That's good. That's cool. And you know what? I will check out that podcast. Thank you, Goji. I'll check it out. Even though, I'm just gonna say, I'll hold on. Not even though, it's just, where is it? I probably would have been best buddies with this guy in high school. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what Guy Fieri sounds like. I'm still banking that Destroya is gonna be the end game villain. Well, it's because Destroya is like the ultimate monster, besides maybe King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is basically a god. I probably would. I'm probably gonna check out one of the podcasts. Not on stream, because that's just not stream content. But I would check out some of their videos for sure. Absolutely. I would definitely check it out. Yeah, I mean this is all very true. That's like some exciting stuff. I'm really excited for the next movie. I gotta rewatch a lot of the Godzilla movies. I'm even gonna watch the 2014 movie. It wasn't a good one. I'm not gonna lie. The 2014 Godzilla movie was not a good movie. I'm just gonna say it. It was bad. The last 20 minutes of the movie was great. The drop scene when they go down, that was brilliant. But I literally left the theater disappointed, which is really upsetting because I grew up on Godzilla. Like, I had the VHS tapes, all right? I had the black and white dubbed over VHS tapes. Oh my god. But the 2014 movie? I think the most disappointing part was when Godzilla and Muto were about to fight. And then the doors close. Literally, the entire theater went, no! The entire theater! Everyone in the theater was upset, audibly. Pissed off. They showed like 20 minutes of monster in that movie. See, it sucked. All of the scenes with the monsters in it were great, but I couldn't give less than half a fuck about the actors in it because they didn't make it worth it. If they made it half monsters, half people, I would have cared a lot more about the people, but they made it mostly about the people and I didn't give a shit. I wanted to see Godzilla. I wanted to see the enemies, the monsters, the Muto. Godzilla 2000? I fucking loved that movie. Come for me in the comments. Fuck you, I like that movie, it's good. Oh my god, I mean, the other Godzilla movies, when I saw them in theaters, they made me fucking cry. I was so excited. When I got to see King Ghidorah on screen in full fucking beautiful HD in theaters, oh my god, that is a whole lot of fish. Oh my god, though, it was so good. Godzilla vs. Kong was so good. Oh, King of the Monsters was such a good movie. It was so good. Oh, I just wish... I don't even remember what the 2014 movie was called. Because I care that little about it. The moment the Godzilla OG theme kicked in, I was a small child again. Dude, I feel you there, man. Damn, man. I love Godzilla. I really want to get like a big Godzilla tattoo on my thigh here. You know the poster where Godzilla is being entangled by King Ghidorah? That's what I want on my thigh here. One day. I want to own a home first, and then I will get more tattoos. But that is my right thigh. That is what I have planned for it. God damn. Fucking beautiful. Beautiful shit. You guys know the poster I'm talking about too. If you don't know the poster I'm talking about, then why are you even watching this? Why are you even here? Alright, catch you later, Nas. Have a good one. See ya. I've seen all of the old Godzilla-themed movies. It's just been 20-something years since I've seen most of them. That's the problem. I need to rewatch them. God, I fucking love monsters. I'm even a fucking Pacific Rim simp. I'm that much of a fucking loser. You don't know the poster I'm talking about? I've been watching Godzilla longer than me? Hey, just because you've been watching it longer than me doesn't mean you've seen more than me. Pacific Rim was awesome. I literally saw it 4 times in theater when it came out. I went to the theater by myself. I drove all the way to another town to go to another... When I had my first car, I drove myself to another town because it had a bigger theater. When I got my first car, it was a big deal for me because I had to go on the highway. Oh! Frank, I never said you're not a Godzilla fan. I'm literally just shit-talking people for fun. Relax. You're fine. You're alright. Hold on. I'll find it. You've probably seen it and you just don't remember. Yo, Shin Godzilla was so good. It was so fucking good. It was really good. This is the poster I'm talking about, by the way. I want this as a tattoo on my right thigh. You've probably seen it before, you just don't remember it. It's literally the cover to the VHS that I had. Wouldn't that be a great thigh tattoo? Just covering my whole thigh. Yeah, see, I told you, you know what I'm talking about. I told you, you know. Wouldn't that be a beautiful fucking thigh tattoo? Sweet Jesus. Oh, I'm wearing a whole dress. It's a whole blue dress thing. Yeah, this would be an amazing tattoo. Although I don't know if I don't think I would include like the rocket and the tower. I think I would just have Godzilla and King Ghidorah. Oh no, I mean, I could afford to get this tattoo. I would just rather have a house first, and houses are a lot more expensive than tattoos. My tattoo artist would lose his shit if I told him I wanted this. He would be so fucking excited. My tattoo artist, he did my xenomorph half sleeve, and he did my Lovecraftian chest piece. He loves doing monsters. One day.